What's up, everybody? It's waba, and I am doing another craft session. It's going to be Craft Sesh 2. Now, the first thing I want to talk about real quick, though, just in case this is the first one you've ever watched, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be alching high item level amulet rings and some belts. You could get these items by doing high tier maps. Anything that's item level 74 or higher. You could even get item level 75 items in level 73 maps off of rare mobs. But generally, you want to be doing tier 7s and tier 8s. You could just set up a loot filter to show you these items very clearly. I myself have them surrounded. All white items that are item level 75 have a green border, so they stand out to me. And I just picked them up. Everything you see here is actually from a single day of playing, so it's pretty easy. I just picked up everything I could, maybe about a day and a half, and I wasn't even playing that hard. So the last craft sesh that I did, it didn't go as ideally as possible. You usually in a crafting session, you want to find at least 2 or 3 really big ticket items. Not really big ticket items, but just items that are worth, in the 20C plus range, because those are the ones that really pay out really well. And we didn't really have that happen last time. The items that I had crafted that I valued the most have sold, but the other ones that I have, that I did price near the end of that video, they haven't sold yet. So, but it's not that big of a deal. Prophecy Hardcore is slowing down. There's not a lot of people playing right now, so few people are buying the items, and I'm still doing this for a few reasons. I mean, if I get a really good item, it's going to get sold. If I get a really good item and I could use it, that's even better. I could still replace some of my jewelry. I have 3 characters that are, all 88 plus right now, and I'm playing them all pretty regularly. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start this. We have 165 pieces of gear and 167 alks. So, let's go. So let's go ahead and start going over it. We'll go ahead and start with all our chaos rings, our amethyst rings. So, yeah, not any good. Not any good. This one is okay. It has a nice life roll on it. A little bit of fire, some elemental damage. I wouldn't, this is probably worth a chaos if someone were to buy it. This one is actually kind of okay. A good life roll, some mana, maybe a couple chaos, 20 strength, 31 lightning. This one is okay. Also maybe a couple chaos. You could craft a life roll on it. So, or an ES roll, just depends. The resistances are pretty nice, and someone might find themselves needing strength. This one, also decent. The only thing with this is it does not have a suffix open, because the cold damage, strength, and resist are all suffixes, so you can't put another resist on here. So, also the strength roll is a little bit on the low side. Generally, if you have like an attribute roll, you want it to be 30 plus, because you want those attribute rolls to be able to replace one of these bad boys that are all over the tree. So you generally want like 30 plus on the strength. So 30 plus on the strength and or dexterity. So this one's okay, but again, maybe one chaos. This one is not very good. It's a band-aid ring, and I'm going to talk about this in actually another video eventually, but the resist is too low on this, and you can't get any more resist on here, so I don't see anybody buying this within reason. This ring, same thing. Every roll is just too low. The all resist, sure, maybe someone will buy it, but it's just going to be going into a junk tab, which is essentially where we pull all our chaos recipe out of. Again, same thing. The weapon elemental roll is pretty decent on this, and you could put life on it, but you could get much better rings for low cost. All right, so this one, we're actually going to go ahead and have this right here. This one, not very good. The energy shield, it's going to be, this one is full on properties, so if you were to put this in a vendor, you would get an augment. That's how you know it has 6 properties. It cannot be crafted any further. That means this is as it is. I don't really see anybody using this. It's just a mixed match of mods, therefore not very good. This one, again, 24% spell damage. That is a prefix. Everything else on it, well, the life regen and the life gain on kill, the suffix, while the attack damage leeches life, physical attack damage leeches life is a prefix. This is not going to be very good either, because you would need a craft on it. It has no resist or anything. And this one would be okay if the int roll was higher and the crit chance was higher, but it is not any good at all. Would not bother. This one actually has some potential. Ooh, actually, this one is pretty good, and I'll tell you why. So it has 48 to dexterity. Like I said earlier, if you have an off stat roll, you generally want the off stat roll to be 30 or higher. This one is 48. I believe that is tier 2. It has a good physical damage to attacks roll, and it has 22% maximum energy shield. It also has 20% lightning resist, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's at least a resist, and this has a suffix and a prefix open. Therefore, if someone were to buy it, they'd be able to craft whatever they needed on it. They would be able to craft a resist on it, or they'd be able to craft something else on it, be it flat ES, mana, any number of things. They could do all stats. They could craft on this to get it to where they want. They could get crit. This is actually a pretty good piece. I will have to price check this further and investigate. This is something that would probably be better in a different meta, but still pretty solid for what it is. And okay, here we go. This is another one. The spell damage is a good roll. You'd like to have like 15% plus on spell damage. The life sucks. The lightning resist is good, and the crit is not very good. So junk tab as well. Even if you do put other things on here, this is not very good. Mate, nah, it's not very good. And then this one, also not very good. It has increased armor and increased maximum energy shield. Poor resist, it's not good. This one, not good. Low life, low resist. Rarity, who cares? There we go. This one, there was potential in this one, but not good. The fizz damage is low. The only good thing about this is the 48 to intelligence, but everything else on that is working against it. This one is actually okay, and I believe you could put a prefix on. I think a prefix is open on this. Let's find out. Yep, prefix is open. But I don't know if this would actually sell. This is something else that I would say is like really meta dependent. The crit roll is decent. The accuracy is actually something that a lot of people sought after or look after. The mana is good, and that's a good ES roll. But I mean, we're going to throw this in the crafted tab, but it is not something that I anticipate someone really coming to me looking for anytime soon. Maybe I could pick up a couple chaos for it if I do, or if someone does. This one, not any good. Spell damage, low life, strength. Yeah, it's not very good. This one had potential. It's similar to the other ones. It has a prefix and a suffix open. So this one's actually probably could sell because you could get another suffix on it. You could craft another resist. But other than that, it's not very good. We'll go and throw it in a crafted tab. But yeah, it's not very good. Here we go. This one, not good. This one would have been all right, except for the fact that it has 11% evasion rating on it and the 18 max mana. The evasion rating wouldn't be too bad, especially for tricksters. It has a nice ES roll and a decent lightning roll, but it's not good otherwise. So we'll go dump that. This is okay, but probably not that good. Remember, the one thing we have to remember is that this tab is actually listed, so I anticipate someone buying this because it has a good life value on it, and someone who is looking for 30 plus strength and 60 plus life, and they'll probably buy this. 1 chaos, not a big deal. This amulet, pretty good. Has high life roll on it, decent ES percent. It has 14 to intelligence combined with the Onyx amulet base. This means it can get up to 30 intelligence. It could solve an intelligence problem for somebody who needed it, who is life and ES. It has a decent lightning roll on it. It is at least better than crafted, but you could either put another prefix on here or another suffix. So that makes that flexible and therefore worth a couple of chaos at the very least. This one looks to be pretty good. Better than crafted life roll, good cast speed roll, and 8% all resist. This means it's going to show up whenever people are looking for resist. You're going to at least be able to look through it like that. It's on the right base, 15 all attributes. An Onyx amulet is a pretty good base for things like this. And we could put another resist on here. So that one's going to be all right. This one is garbage. Doesn't make any sense. This one is also not very good. No one looks for armor on their pieces. And this one is definitely garbage. Definitely garbage. So, garbage. Everything is way too low on this. This one could potentially be okay if that rarity is not a prefix. It is a prefix. Now, this has no resist on it, but it was very possible that if somebody was looking for a ring, they didn't need resist, and they saw that this had 40 plus dex, and this could get life on it. But otherwise, it is actually garbage. Not very good. And this one, this ring is actually pretty all right for the first 3 stats, but the last 3 are garbage. So don't anticipate anyone buying that. This one, values are way too low and wrong. Not good. Also, values are a little low. It's very niche. I don't anticipate anyone buying that though. This one, also not good. Wow, we're not having any luck with these. This one, nope. No bueno. This one is okay because it has 30 plus intelligence on it, has 10 all resist, and 53 maximum mana. I can see an attack-based build using this and wanting to put life on here, so we'll go ahead and throw that in there for now. Not good. Values are too low and terrible. Not good. Too low. Not good. Too low. And finally, yeah, not good. Too low. This one would have been good if it had a better life roll on it. So, yeah, this is something that maybe someone will want to buy, but it can't get another suffix on it, or it can't get another prefix on it, so it can only get suffixes, something I'll just throw in there. This one is better because it's 50 strength on it, but yeah, the other things not too good. It is full on suffixes, and it could get a prefix on it, but I don't anticipate someone buying that. Oh, I just DC'd. Okay, well, while we're DCing, there we go. Okay, so this one definitely not good. This one, well, strength on iron rings is real tonight. Not any good. This one could have, no, it's not good. This one's not good either. And that one, nope. And actually, this is the only one that might have some selling potential because it has a prefix open, 30 plus dex, and 40 to cold. But the values on the physical damage are too low, therefore I am still going to put it in the 1C tab. Something about putting things in the 1C tab, if they need to be crafted further in order for them to be any sort of appealing, you have to keep that in mind. Essentially, that means that someone has to spend 4 chaos on this just to put a life roll on it, and the life roll is not even going to be that good. So you have to think about it like that. If somebody comes up to me and offers me 2 alks for this, I'll take it. Next up, 2 stone rings. Now, the one thing I do really like about 2 stone rings is if you do have a lot of them, you could actually re-roll them into prismatic rings. But let's go ahead and look. So this one, it has some decent resists on it. It has a prefix open because all the resists are suffixes. But this is an example of what I was just saying. If someone has to craft onto it to make it any sort of worthwhile, it is not worth too much. So we'll throw that in there. This one, same thing. It goes both ways, not just with life rolls, also with resist rolls. So I'm going to throw that in there. If that intelligence roll were higher, if any of the other rolls other than the life were higher, maybe. This one is okay. This is actually a better example, but I don't really see this getting sold for too much more. We'll put this in the crafted tab. Again, a lot of these aren't even priced on PoE Trade, and you just see each item individually priced. These items aren't priced on PoE Trade, so if someone puts in 70 life, 30 plus fire resist, and 30 intelligence, this will come up. So that's fine. This ring, not any good. This is definitely just not a very good meta for mana regen. It's not really needed too often, and the fire resist is too low, so not very good. This one, it's okay, but also not very good. So I actually decided to shorten this video a little bit. I would just kind of go through the very end. You guys already saw me talk about some of the bad examples of rings or amulets that weren't very good, and I feel like that point has been driven home enough where you could see that when an item has low values or doesn't have a prefix or a suffix available for crafting or whatnot, like they're just generally not very good and won't sell, and those are the ones that are going to be going into your chaos recipe tab, or just you're going to vendor, or you're going to trade in do the 2-stone recipe so you could get the prismatic rings, which is another thing you could do. But I decided that I would just grab all the things that were pretty good from the crafting session and just talk about it a little bit. Two of the items, I had said earlier in the video that any item that is actually good will sell, regardless of the amount of players. I already had one ring sell, and I had one amulet sell. One of the 2-stone rings and one of the turquoise amulets. And the turquoise amulet turned out to be pretty good. I figured the 2-stone ring was good. So those both already sold. But let's go ahead and talk about everything that got left over. Here we have an amulet that is worth maybe a couple of chaos. It's kind of a band-aid item. It's just, it has a nice life roll, a nice energy shield roll. The mana regen is low and the rarity is low, but it has a prefix and a suffix open, making this a little flexible for however somebody wants to use it. This is maybe a couple of chaos at best. This amulet is something that I think I value a little bit more than a lot of people. It has a lot of intelligence, up to 74 intelligence. The 24 dex is pretty good, and then has 18% maximum energy shield with a better than crafted life roll and a decent mana roll. The thing is, here it has only suffixes available, so someone would probably throw a resist on this and it would be pretty good. And you might think, oh well, an energy shield build doesn't necessarily need to have intelligence. Most of the time they are, but 74 intelligence is how much? What, 14? Was it 14%? Yeah, it's 14% maximum energy shield. So that's actually pretty good. This one is also, this one is an item that I would say is a good item to sell for a bargain, as a decent wed roll, better than crafted life roll. The resist aren't very good, and you can't get another suffix on here, but it has a prefix open, and you could do something with that if you'd like. Maybe mana, maybe a little bit energy shield. I believe there's one other thing. Oh yeah, damage, chaos damage to attacks. You wouldn't really do that. This one has a prefix open, and you could throw life on here, making this a pretty solid amulet. This is something that would probably be pretty good for a lightning arrow build, or just any elemental damage build. That lightning damage to attacks is actually pretty good. It's a shame that the strength roll is that low, and it would be better if it was something else like intelligence. This ring has some decent resist on it thanks to the implicit, and it has 30 plus strength on it. Again, remember, we want to always have the attribute be something that could replace one of these nodes, one of these plus 30 nodes. This will do exactly that, and it has a prefix open, so it's a nice band-aid ring. Same here, 2 decent resist, 30 plus 2 in off stat, has a prefix open. Pretty much the same thing as this, except I would say that this is a little bit better because the implicit will give you more life. The 9 to 13 cold damage is obviously better, and the resist rolls are better as well. This is a little bit similar to those, except for this is a little bit more geared. Like, these could be used on either a life build or an ES build, while this one is better off for just a ES build, because between the energy shield and the mana and all the resist, it has a prefix and a suffix open, so you could throw lightning resist on here and make this a decent band-aid ring. This one is full on prefixes, but it has is full on mods, and you could tell by putting it in the vendor window, and if it is full on properties, you'll get an augment, but you should also be able to tell by just looking at this. But it has good resist on it, better than Crafted Life Roll. A little bit of intelligence, not enough, not like these where it's 30 plus, but a little bit, so it does help just a tad. This ring, pretty solid. It has some good resist on it, decent ES. It has a prefix open, so I could see someone potentially wanting this. And the intelligence isn't that bad because as I had mentioned with this one earlier, the intelligence does turn out to be just additional ES. In this case, it would be 5% additional ES. So it's not that bad, and it has some solid resist and a good accuracy roll on it. Another amulet, or not an amulet, a ring, decent life. This is something that if someone were to throw in 30 plus fire and 70 life, or even 60 life and 30 intelligence, this would pop up. This is a couple of chaos. And let's see what else. We already talked about this. I'm trying to think about the ones I didn't talk about. Oh, this blood charm. This amulet's pretty good. It has 2 suffixes open. The physical attack damage leeches life is a prefix. So because of this, you could throw another resist on here, making this a pretty solid amulet that someone could use for quite a long time on their build. This isn't like a GG DPS amulet by any means, but it is something that someone could turn to and rely on for quite a while. This amulet is okay. It has a suffix open. This is something that I would say is maybe has some room in a LA build, but it really depends. I mean, the fact that it doesn't have any life on it and it doesn't have crit multi on it hurts. Crit is not like the best thing to have on your neck piece because crit multi is so much better, and that's just because of how much crit multi you could get on the tree and how much crit you could get on the tree. So, and then see this amulet, pretty good. It has a prefix open and a suffix open, making this pretty flexible. This could be another band-aid amulet. Also, it's nice that it has, the 35 intelligence. Although most ES builds won't really need the intelligence, the fact that it gives you more ES is also pretty solid. So, and then the belts. These belts didn't really turn out to be that good. This one could get life on it. This is a belt that I would probably throw life on, and maybe I would Valorb it, maybe I wouldn't. This one, yeah, you could throw something on here. It's not that good. These are probably all 3 of these are probably 1 chaos belts. Maybe this one's a few after you put life on it. So that's pretty much what came out of this crafting session. These are all the items. Now, of the 2 items that did already sell, it actually already paid for my crafting session. And this is also why I kind of wanted to re-record this part of the video, because as I was going through it, I was getting so many bad items that I kind of started to feel pretty terrible about it. And I just didn't realize the value of a few items. It was also late for me. But as this turned out, I've already made over 2 exalts from the items, that I've crafted, and I still have more room to go. And yeah, so that's pretty much what came out of this. Hopefully this actually seems like a fitting end to this video, because it was just a little too long and I didn't want it to be like boring. So I wanted to try to stop that. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions about crafting or pricing, I'm still planning on doing a pretty much like a definitive pricing guide. I don't think this has really been approached the right way by the people who have talked about it. I think that there are different ways to explain pricing and values of items, and I'm really gonna be working hard at that. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you have any thoughts on this video, any comments, concerns, any feedback, I really appreciate it. I will take it in and I will try to make them better. And I'm hoping that everyone's like really getting something out of these videos. So again, thank you guys. Have a good one. See you later.